Greetings fellow Decepticons, Soundblaster1987 here with another animation review mini vlog. Today I'm going to be covering my all-time favourite Transformers cartoon, Transformers Cybertron from 2005 to 2006. Now, for those who don't know, Cybertron was the last chapter of the Unicron trilogy, the anime years from the early 2000s, where basically the overarching plot of all three of these series revolves around the monster planet Unicron. Armada showed Unicron surfacing from hidden inside one of Cybertron's moons, consuming all in his path. Energon showed the resurgence of Unicron after he was destroyed at the end of Armada, then he got destroyed again. And in Cybertron, the destruction of Unicron for the second time caused enough of an absence of evil in the universe to create a black hole to counteract the imbalance between good and evil. This black hole has appeared in orbit over the planet Cybertron and is threatening to consume all in its path to wipe out all the good in the universe to balance out the loss of evil from Unicron's death. Of course, Megatron has also undergone several deaths and rebirths in this particular part of the franchise, where he's the main threat of most of the series, then powers up into Galvatron, becomes the secondary threat to Unicron and then dies along with Unicron. Then he gets revived along with Unicron in the second series, powers back up into Galvatron yet again, dies a second time, and now he's back again. Only now, Unicron seems to have granted Megatron a permanent sort of power boost in the form of an Armor of Unicron upgrade, where basically Megatron's new design is a sort of spiky Batmobile-shaped figure with Unicron's sort of shoulder details from the Armada toy on Megatron's arms and such. And I do mean Batmobile because just look at Megatron's car mode if you ever get the chance to Google Cybertron Megatron car mode. And he really does look like a Batmobile type vehicle, a sort of futuristic, spiky space dragster type of vehicle. But anyway, one of the main things I liked about Cybertron growing up was the fact that all the stock footage transformation sequences were so toy accurate that you could just use that to learn how to transform the toys if you lost the instructions. I'd never actually had some of the toys growing up, but I did have a few of them, most of which I've already reviewed on the channel like Scattershark, Red Alert and Metroplex. So, yes, the main plot points of the cartoon, I'm not going to go into too much detail so I don't spoil it for those who are genuinely interested in watching it. The series should be available to watch for most who are curious on most cartoon streaming websites. Plus also the Freeview channel YAS, that's YAAS, seems to have an unlimited streaming hour-long block of Cybertron episodes after school most of the time. But you need to connect your Freeview TV to your home Wi-Fi in order to access that channel. So, without further ado, I'm going to go into a few highlights from the series. So, first of all, the series starts with Optimus Prime evacuating Cybertron because the black hole has started to get bigger nearby and is going to swallow the planet if they're not careful. Jetfire's already been back and forth to Earth to gather vehicle mode data for the other Autobots to scan to create disguises for their time living on Earth in secret. Vector Prime comes out of a gap in reality he's slashed with his sword because his sword is an ancient Cybertronian relic that can cut holes in the fabric of reality to create portals to other places. Portals that can also be widened by Optimus Prime showing off the matrix of leadership to open the portal wider. Vector Prime is holding a map that shows the location of 5 ancient Cybertronian relics that could be used to close the black hole. By basically uniting these 5 relics, the 4 Cybertronian cyberplanet keys from the 4 Transformer colony planets, Earth, Velocitron, the Jungle Planet and the Giant Planet, and of course the Omega Lock, which is required to bring the 4 keys together into one place, because these 5 relics when combined will reawaken Primus, the god and creator of all life on Cybertron, whose body is actually formed from Cybertron itself. But Primus is currently laying dormant because he spends so much energy fighting Unicron at the beginning of time that he's basically just mode-locked himself into planet form, resting until the rest of his spark fragments can be recovered. But yes, Megatron appears along with Starscream. They attack the evacuating Autobots, and Landmine is sent hurtling towards the black hole, but Vector Prime cuts a portal through time to send him to Earth just in time before he flies out of orbit. Meanwhile, Megatron uses the diversion to steal Vector Prime's galactic map and fly away with Starscream, getting a head start toward the Cyberplanet key chase. Each of the individual characters of this series have their own individual Cyberkey weapon, which can be accessed via a sort of Dragon Ball Z power-up transformation flame effect, which basically causes a, swirling vortex to part the clouds of the sky and then bring the key down and combine with their body the way it does on the toy to unlock these weapons. Most of the voice cast from Armada and Energon return, but some of them have been reassigned, so for example, the original voice actor of Hotshot has been replaced by the late Kirby Morrow. Gary Chalk is still Optimus Prime, David Kay is still Megatron, but Dobson Brothers trio are still their respective characters. So, Paul Dobson is Sideways in the Armada series, but I can't remember offhand whether he returns as Sideways in Cybertron, although if Sideways does return, I'll get to him later. But Paul Dobson plays Landmine, Brian Dobson plays Red Alert, Michael Dobson plays Starscream. And Paul Dobson also voices Overhaul, who later becomes Leo Breaker in the series, as he becomes one with the essence of the Jungle Planet. But yes, the Autobots follow Landmine to Earth after Vector Prime explains where the portal took him. Then we meet the human trio of children for this series. The brothers Kobe and Bud Hanson and their friend Laurie, who find the injured Landmine, and 15-year-old Kobe uses his engineering skills to patch Landmine up. Then, the kids join the Autobots to help fight off the Decepticons and find the Cyberplanet keys, because they know if they don't, the black hole will soon swallow Earth as well. They want to do their best to help, since they've already befriended Landmine, they're already halfway to becoming members of the team as it is. After his previous experience with Rad, Alexis, Carlos, Billy and Fred in Armada and Kicker and Energon, Optimus was somewhat reluctant to involve human kids in this quest yet again, but he eventually relented after seeing how well Kobe had already bonded with Landmine. Then, the human kids find out that they're actually able to sense the proximity of the Omega Lock using a, ancient, high-pitched frequency that only they are sensitive to. So, Vector Prime and the Autobots were able to use the kids as a sort of homing beacon to find the Omega Lock when they get a headache from the signal they emit nearby. So, the first Cyberplanet key was on the planet Velocitron, which Megatron got to first because of the stolen map. When he arrives on Velocitron, he recruits the high-speed thugs ransacking Crumple Zone, who are basically the comic relief of this series, because they keep getting beaten easily by the Autobots in fights, often blasting off into the sky like Team Rocket from Pokemon. They end up recruiting another Velocitronian called Dirt Boss, who ends up basically turning against them because he wants to do things his own way. Then on the Jungle Planet, Megatron recruits the Tyrannical Scourge and his minions Brimstone and Undermine, while Overhaul befriends Snarl and Backstop and recruits them to the Autobots. Backstop stays behind on the Jungle Planet to protect it from Brimstone and Undermine's influence when Scourge travels with Megatron, but Snarl travels with the Autobots after Overhaul became Leo Breaker. Meanwhile on Velocitron, Hotshot and Red Alert have befriended Override, Clocker and Breakdown. Clocker and Breakdown stay on Velocitron after they win the race in the Cyberplanet key to protect the planet from Dirt Boss, while Ransack and Crumple Zone travel with Megatron. But Override joins the Autobots and becomes sort of like an adopted big sister to the human Laurie throughout the series. Then back on Earth, the Autobots recruit the planet leader Evac and his partner Crosswise. Meanwhile, the sneaky double agent from Armada, Sideways, comes back, and he kind of tricks the Autobots into pretending he's one of them for a brief moment, but then he ends up working for Starscream for the rest of the series, when Starscream splits off from Megatron and does his own thing. One of the other comic relief things in this series is the rivalry that Jetfire has with Thundercracker, because Thundercracker has got a gigantic cannon for his left arm, and is forever trying to shoot down all the Autobots. But because of his long-winded attack names and his over-enthusiasm for shooting first and asking questions later, combined with being easily beaten by jet fire, Thundercracker is just as dim-witted and easily beaten as Ransacking Trumplezone were. Then Starscream ends up stealing not only the Omega Lock, but the first 3 Cyber Planet keys, Earth, Velocitron and the Jungle Planet, all at once, and becoming gigantic, wearing the crown from his '86 movie coronation scene, and becoming Emperor Starscream as he calls himself. Then he steals the ancient Cybertronian colony ship Atlantis and flies off to the giant planet to steal the last key. Then, of course, when the Autobots reach the giant planet, which is populated entirely by, well, all the robots on the planet seem to have a Scottish accent on this planet for some reason. But planet leader Metroplex and his friend Quickmix join the Autobots, while Renegade Menasor joins the Decepticons. Unlike normal Menasor variants, who are combined forms of multiple high-speed Stunticon-type Decepticons, this Menasor is a Scottish accented Cybertronian drill tank, who is basically fed up with all the rules and regulations on Giant Planet and wants to go his own way, and he thinks joining the Decepticons is the best way to go about that. But anyway, during their time on the Giant Planet, Megatron becomes Galvatron, after having already died once and being brought back by the armor of Unicron in this series. That first resurrection of Megatron led to a black mist shroud that coated him, which enabled him to rebuild the severely damaged Crumplezone into his dark Crumplezone toy retool design, and it also created an evil clone of Leo Breaker called Nemesis Breaker, who was only seen in robot mode for 5 seconds of the entire show during the Dark Claw mode combination sequences, because Nemesis Breaker stays in Lion mode half the time. Because Leo Breaker can combine with Optimus Prime as a new arm called Savage Claw mode. Wingsaber from the Energon series also comes back with a new form, turning into an A-10 Thunderbolt 2 fighter jet, similar to Powerglide from Generation 1. And he can also combine with Optimus like he did in Energon, creating Sonic Wing mode. Because of the way Optimus Prime's toy is engineered, you can't do both at once because of the way Wingsaber clips to Prime's back. So, the Giant Planet has been stuck in a separate dimension due to an ancient Planet X battle against the home planet of Sideways and Soundwave, because Sideways and Soundwave have been retconned from Sideways being a herald of Unicron like he was in Armada, to being from Planet X, the ancient rival of the Giant Planet, and Giant Planet is only connected to the main series universe by an unstable temporary space bridge portal that can't stay open very long, every few thousand years or so. So basically, when the Autobots miss their chance to get back home after retrieving the last key, Vector Prime sacrifices his life to use his time manipulation powers to go back in time far enough to allow the Autobots to get back through the portal. Then, halfway through the series, while the Autobots and Decepticons are fighting on the surface of Cybertron, accessing the Omega Lock of the first 3 keys has provided Primus with enough power to actually transport to robot mode, though because his spark is still incomplete, he lies dormant in robot mode facing the massive black hole threat, and using what little energy he's got to stop it from expanding any further. In the final few episodes of the series, the Jungle Planet comes this close to being swallowed, but the Autobots manage to close the black hole just in time to save it. Galvatron does try and throw the Omega Lock and the keys toward the black hole to stop them being used at one point, but Optimus Prime and the 4 planet leaders, now that Scourge is reformed, do end up managing to save the day just in time. Once Primus' spark is restored, the black hole is closed by Primus manifesting a giant Autobot spaceship that turns into a cannon that fires the pure light of Primus' heroism directly into the black hole, sealing it shut. After this, Cybertron becomes a paradise for all 4 colony planets. So, that more or less concludes my, look back at Transformers Cybertron, the best of my, childhood Transformers series. I haven't got all of the figures from that line yet, but I will be reviewing more of them in future. So, That concludes my review. I've been Sandblaster1987. Thanks again for watching. Apologies for the length of this video. My next toy review will be the LEGO Icons Optimus Prime set, and then my next animation video will be my look back at the first 4 seasons and 2 or 3 comic books of the 2019 Harley Quinn cartoon by HBO Max. Till then, till all are one.